Okay, welcome back. This is another tutorial, an interesting video which I'm going to show you on how you can create this Laravel 11 and Livewire 3 data tables. As you can see, I have the table with users. You can see down here you have the beautiful pagination. You can see this is a list of page numbers. Here it shows you that you are showing let's say 1 to 7 of 500 results. You can see we have the beautiful per page, and here you can just change per page. Now it is showing 7 users. You can just change to 5, let's say. You can see you have 5 users. You can just change it to 10. You can see you have 10 users like this. You can change it to 100, and then you can see you have 100 users. You can just scroll and see you have 100 users. You can return to 5 and see. So it is working fine. So you can just navigate to these pages. You can go to page number 2. You can see here it also show page number 2. You can go to page number 9 here. You can go to 100. Now you can see. So this is how it works fine. And then let's go to page number 1. Let's refresh the page. As you can see, we have 7 users. You can go to 50. And then let's try to search for a certain user. So let's try to search for Johnny. Now you can see it has searched for John. You can see here there is John, here there is John, 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 and then you can see John, you can see John. So it is actually working fine. You can just search for a certain user like this. You can see it is working, and then you can use email to search. So I can use the email. You can see it is searching successfully. So let me clear the input, and you can see it returned back to the list of users as we have said. So let's go to 5, and then the other thing is sorting, which is an interesting part. I have done also this sorting. So by default, you can see it is sorting the users by created at, which is a column that we have in our database, and then it is sorting by descending on default. So that's why you see this arrow is pointing downward, meaning that it will call all the recent users. If you click it again, it will call the oldest users by sorting them by ascending, as you can see. But you can sort with these remaining column, like we can use name. You can see now it starts from A, and then when we click here, it will start with the Z. Okay, so we can use also email, but now you can see this column have changed the now, meaning that it is not used during the sort. So we can come to email. Now you can see the name is changing. You can come here and see the icon are changing depending on sorting. So let's click again. You can see we are sorting by email. Yeah, so this is what we are going to build today. So guys, if you are new, consider to subscribe to my channel. Also like the video. Also share it with your friends, and let's build this together. So let's start it now. Okay, so first of all, you need to have the Laravel 11 project. As you can see here, I've created the Laravel 11 project, as you can see here. So make sure you have the Laravel 11 project. If you don't know how, make sure to go through the Laravel 11 documentation. So you can just go to Laravel, then you can go to installation like this, and then you should be able to start creating your first app using this one. So also make sure you meet the Laravel 11 requirements. As you can see down here, Laravel 11 require a minimum PHP version of 8.2. Yes, so if you have that requirement, make sure to to create your Laravel 11 project. So what I'm going to do next, we need to install Laravel Livewire. So to install Livewire, let's go to Livewire, then installation. Yes, so copy this command, and then let's go to our terminal and then run that command. Okay, so this will install Livewire in your project. So I'll wait for it to be complete and then we will continue. Alright, since the Livewire is already installed in your project, as you can see the version here, what we can do to start building the data table, what we want to do here in the resources, in the welcome page, I'll use this page. So let me try to run my project. Some save, then go to this. Let me use my another browser here. So yeah, that's fine. Then in order for us to use this to create this data table, I've created a simple template for the table that we're gonna have. So it's here available in my GitHub repo, as you can see. So I'm gonna just copy this one, this code, and then we're gonna use it in our project. So what I'm going to do, I just wanted to remove all this data from the body tag. So I'll remove that, and then I'm gonna paste my code from the GitHub repo. Actually it was with HTML tags, so I'll just delete all and then paste again. Okay, so now let's try to refresh the page. Yeah, so this is the template that I've created. So actually I've used the Tailwind CSS. As you can see here, I've included the Tailwind CDN through CDN, so you can see. So you can change the name to be Laravel 11 Livewire 3 data table. Okay, so this will be the template that we are going to use. So in order for us to start working on the data table, first of all we need to create the component that will contain all of these tables. So let's do that by going to the terminal and then run this command. So php @ livewire make, yes, let's call it like data table. Okay, so this will be the template. So let's go to the view of our template, and then what we're gonna do, we need to cut all of this header, I mean all of this div from here. Okay, let me fold this one and also this one, also that one. So what we're gonna do, let's cut all of this. After cutting this, let's go to the data table and then let's paste it inside there. So paste like that. Then we need to reference that the template here. So we're gonna use Livewire data table, which is the name of our template or component here. Okay, so let's try to refresh the page. Yeah, now you can see no any change that is detected. You can try to see on your console there is no any error. So if there is no any error, let's go and start by creating the users, the sample users, so that we can show them there. So to create the sample users, but remember this template is on my GitHub repo. You can go and copy this and start to build along with me. So just copy this. It's on template.blade.php. Yeah, so that is where you can find it. So let me continue by now creating or seeding the example users. So let me go to database. But remember, I've not changed the database here, but you can change and use any database driver that you are using. But for me, I will stick with the SQLite since this is a small project and I just wanted to demonstrate something that is quite smaller. So I'll just use SQLite. So to do that, let's go to seeders, then database seeders. As you can see here, we have sample seeder for users. So let me comment this one, and I want to just use this one. So uncomment that one, and let me create 500 users. This will be the sample users actually. So what we can do, let's go to the migration of user. Okay, so here let's add another column which will be the, let's say, position. Let's say position. Okay, so this will be nullable, and this yes. So let's say by default we can have, let's say, developer. Okay, so now let's try to run this migration. No, I mean the seeder in order for it to create the sample users. So php @sun db seed. Okay, you can see it's seeding the data. So wait for it to be complete. All right, so seeding is done, as you can see. So what I'm going to do, I just want to show the list of users here on my sample template from here. So you need to go to the Livewire, then data table. This is our template or our component. So let's go and return the list of users here. So I just say users and then call all users. So here I can just call all. Okay, so this will return the list of my users. Okay, so after returning the list of users, I want to show them here. So what I'm going to do, I just want to loop through this table row. So I'll just call the for each row and then call the users. And then what we can do here, we can just copy this one, table row, and then paste it inside the for each loop. Let me squeeze this to look a little bit nicer. So then we can see on the page, yeah, we can see we have a lot of users, but I have not shown their real data. So let me show the real data. Here I can change the name to be item, then a name. Then we can have item email. Then we can have item position. Then lastly, we can have the created art, right? At the here I've not added the position, so let me add the position here. Let me say position. Okay, so then you can try to see what is looking on the page. Okay, so now something is not good here. Okay, let me just remove this position. Actually, I don't need it and it's not important. So let me try to use the remaining fields. Okay, seems like there is one column that is missing. Created art, name, table body, this one. Right, so I think the issue was with the template the way I've copied there. So I've tried to repaste it again, and now it works fine. So let's try again. Yeah, you can see. Okay, so the email is not showing. Let me try. Okay, so this is not a capital letter, it's a small letter. And refresh again. Okay, so now you can see we have this kind of table. So what I'm going to do, I just want to give it some padding. So what I'm gonna do, I'll say padding like 10. Let's refresh. Okay, so now the table is at least looking good. So what we are going to do next, we are going to paginate this data. So to do a pagination, what we can do now, so let's click on the pagination of our data here. So to do that, let's go to the component, and then here we just gonna say paginate, and then make sure to use this trait of with pagination. Okay, so after that, you must provide the number of data to be shown on a paginated page. So now let's try to refresh. I've provided 5. So now you can see we have 5 users here, and their email and their time they're being created. Okay, so now what we want to show here the page that we are. So to do that, you have to go to your component layout here, down the table here, just do something like this. So call the users array and then call the links function. Okay, so this links function will show the page number that you are. So let's refresh, and now you can see it showed that we are showing 1 to 5 of 5 or for 500. So as you can see, now you can navigate through these pages. So we can go to page number 2, and then here you can see we are in page number 2. We can go to page number 10. Okay, so we can go to page number 10. I think it's loading. So let me try to refresh the page, and then you go to page number 8. You can see it's working. Page number 11. Okay. Okay, so the pagination is working fine. Regardless, it's somehow a little bit slower. So I think it's because of my system here. So then After creating this the pagination, what we can do next, we want to make sure this is working. So how many number of users or of data we can show per page. So let's work on this for now. So to do that, let's go to this one and make it, we can bind this because this is a simple drop down. So we can bind the value from here, and then we can use it in our component. So let's go to the select, which is this one here. And then what we can do, so what we can do in this select, as you can see it here, this is our select. So we can just bind here the model. So we can just say like wire model, wire model. Then we can just say live. Yeah, so this you can just get the more information on Livewire documentation. When you say live, meaning that whenever you are the data will be changed from, let's say, 5 to 7, this will send the request to the server, and then the server will perform any function or any request that you have done here. So now what we can do here, we should pass the value. Let's say we can have the value which is per page. Okay, so this per page, we need to define it as a public in our component. So we can have the public variable which is per page. Okay, and in default we can say it should have the value of 5, and then what we can do, we can just pass this one here. So we can just pass it here. Okay, so this should be this, since it's the object or the child on this page, so we can just call it like this. So now let's try to refresh. Okay, so now by default you can see it shows 5 data. So let me go to the initial page like this, and then let's try to change this one. Let's say to 10. Okay, now you can see we have 10. You can just change to 50. Okay, so somehow it's lazy. All right, so what we can do, let's see, why is it lazy? Okay, but this is fine. So okay, so let's try again. Let's go to 50. Okay, so now you can see we have 50 users. Okay, so what we can do next, well, I want to add the search here. I want to add the search there. So what I can do, so let's go to the template and copy this header for the search, and then let's come to our code, and then let's paste it there. Okay, so now let's try to refresh the page. Yeah, so now you can see we have the good searching input here. So then what we can perform here, in order for us to being able to search for this data, we need to give this a live, we need to bind this as a live, and when you type something like this, it should call the a certain function to the server. So what we can do, right here, as you can see, I've added this binding. So I've given it the name or the mode of search, as you can see. So, and also I've given it the live. Also I've given it the debounce of 3, 100 milliseconds, meaning that whenever you type and you stop to type, it will wait for the 300 milliseconds and then it will start to send the request to the server. So that is when the search function will be called. So let's create this search function, I mean the binding. So let's just paste this as a search. Okay, and then by default it will be an empty string like this. And now in order for us to search in this data here, there is a simple way that you can use the model and you specify the scope of your search. So down here we can create the function that will call it as a scope search, which accept the two parameter. The first parameter is a query and the second parameter is the value. Okay, so then inside it, so inside the function we need to create the query, and here we'll pass where, then inside it we're gonna pass the name of the field that we want to search, and then we're gonna use like as a function to search our data, and then here you need to pass in which scope you want to check the likeliness of the column. Since this check the likeliness, you can just pass like a single, then the value here. Let's say you can just pass like this, meaning this gonna check if the value of the data that you have passed here starts with the value that you have passed here. So this will just check if it starts with, but if we put like this, meaning that it will check for the whole value that you have passed here. So since I'll check for, or I'll search for the name, I think also we can check for the email. That will be fine. So to check you with email, we can just add the or where, meaning that if it is not in the name, we can just check if it exists in the email. So we can just pass the email. Let's say we can just copy this and then paste it there. Actually here it should be email, then terminate. Yeah, so now if we have something like this, meaning that we can have the access to use the search function in our component here. So what we can do, we can just put it down there and then use the search function. As you can see now it's available and it will require the value. So our value here will be the search. So let's pass here search, will be this search. Okay, so then the pagination should be like this. So now we can just try our search functionality. So let's go and try to see if the search is working. So let me try to search for, let's say, John. Yeah, you can see it tried to call all the Johns. So let me try to call all the Johnny. Okay, Johnny here. Yeah, so it fetches, as you can see, all of these contain the Johnny. As you can see, Johnny now, or let's say, let's type something that it does not exist, like let's try to refresh and then type something that does not exist. As you can see, okay, so now um, okay, so the search functionality is working fine. So the next thing we need to perform the sorting. So when the user click this button, or I mean this headings, like this, it should actually sort this data. So to do that, let's go by starting and adding the wire event of click on these names. So let's go to the component here, and then let's add here wire click. This will call the function that we're gonna call like set sort functionality. Then inside it we're gonna pass the name of our column that we're gonna use it to sort. So I'll just create this function. Let's create this function in our component here. Let me call the public function set sort functionality, and this will accept the column name. Okay, so this will call the column name. So what we can do here, what we can do right there, okay, we need to add the sort parameter here. So we can just call it sort by column, which can be the column name that we want, and then also we can have sort, let's say direction. Okay, so then this by default we can just sort them by descending. Okay, so all our data, if they are being clicked, will be sorted by descending as default, and then we can perform the functionality to change it from ascending to descending. So for now, since we've created these two variables, that then let's use them here by saying like this sort column, we're gonna assign it this column that we've come it from, we've take it from here. So let's say column name. Okay, and then let's say this sort direction will be just descending. Okay, as you can see here. So now what we can do, we can just pass here the sorting functionality, which is order by, and it will use the two data we have created, which will be this sort by column, and then the second parameter will be the sort direction. Okay, yeah. So now let's try to see if this works, as we have performed only on the name. So let's try on the name. Let's refresh the page, and then by default let me show the 10 data here. So, or let's say 7. So by default I'll just show 7, and then let me refresh the page. Okay, so now you can see we have 7 users. So let me click on this. Yeah, you can see we have gone through the Z and then Y, but if you refresh, you can see we go from Brian. You can see we have something like this, so meaning the sorting functionality is working fine, as you can see. So what we want to implement, when user will click again, it should sort it to the ascending. Now it is sorting them to the descending. So what we can do here, we can just have the if condition that will check if the current sort by column name will be equal to this column that you have coming, that we call it from the component UI here. If it will be the same, okay, if it will be the same, meaning that we should change the sorting direction. Okay, so what we can do, we can just say this sort column will be equal, we should assign it to the sort column actually, and then we should change the sort direction, which will be equal. So if this we need to have something like if here, so let me do it like this. If it is equal to descending, let's say ascending, okay, we should change it to descending, and otherwise we should change it to ascending. Okay, so now then we should return. Okay, if you will not return here, meaning that after this if, it will come and run this again, which will not sort your table again. So for now, let's try to test if this works. Let's go to the page, refresh the page, and now let's click the name. Yep, you can see. Okay, so after clicking the second time, it does not work. Let me see what we have here. Okay, let me try to change this to be ascending, and then here to be descending, and then let's try to see what is happening. Okay, this is right and this is all right. Let's try to refresh. Okay, okay, so that is something I've messed up. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so let me reverse the changes. Okay, so now let's send here. Oh wow, so you can see this. We don't need even to overwrite this one because it's already here. So let me try to remove this one and then try again. Okay, then okay, still we have something. Still is not working. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now we can see here we have the sort by column. By default, it's empty, meaning that when you refresh like this, none of this data is being sorted by any column at default, which is causing the issue here. So by default, let's try to sort by created at. Okay, and it will sort them by descending. Okay, it will sort them by descending. Okay, so I think we should sort them by ascending. Yeah, we should sort them by ascending, meaning that the new one will be at the bottom, which is wrong. So I think we should exchange here. This should be descending and this should be ascending. Okay, so for now I think it will be good. So by default they will be sorted by created at. So let's try and see what is happening. Okay, so now let's try to click the name. Okay, you can see now, and then okay, so still we have something here to look. on. Okay, so the thing that we have to look on, but for the view of my code, I think everything is fine. So let me go to the browser again and let me try it again, and then sort. At first time it sorts, and then at the second time it fails. So let me see on the console. Yeah, okay, we can see here we have some issues here. Livewire missing closing tags. Alright, so I think there is a tag that we have missed this. So let me go and check out on the template here. Okay, so I think we have added this one. Okay, so let me see down here. Let me add one div and let me try to refresh the page and let's see. Okay, sorted again. So that was the issue here. I think after we have added the search bar or the search input, it created the one of the div that remained unclosed down here. And that was the issue of that was causing even the search to not working well or the others. So let's try again. For the pagination, let's go to page number 2, page number 3, page number 8. As you can see now, it's working fine. You can go to page number 72 and it's going fine. Let's go to page number 1. As you can see, this is page number 1. Let's go to per page. Let's say 50. You can see we have 50. Let's go to 5. You can see we have 5. Let's go to 7. You can see we have 7 users. So now it's working fine actually, as you can see. And now if we try to sort, you can see after clicking once it sort ascending, then ascending, descending, ascending. So that is how it works for now. So what we want to do here, we can just have the icon here to show that now we are sorting this column. So what we can do, we can just have the icon there. So I can just use the hero icons from the Tailwind CSS actually. So let's go to hero icons and search for Chevrolet like these ones. So by default, I'll show this one as an sorted column. So let me try to copy this SVG and let's go to our column here. Okay, so then let's give it a button and then let's paste the. Okay, so let's. Okay, I think I've not copied it well, so let me copy the SVG. Okay, so now let's paste it inside the button. Okay, now let me squeeze it inside the button. Let me make it look a little bit nice. Now, also the name of column. Oh, I've messed up. This is the table data. We need to put it in the table heading. So let me go to the table heading here above. Okay, so then I want also this name to be inside it. So let me go inside this name to put it there. Okay, so now if you refresh, it will look a little bit ugly, as you can see. So to make it look a little bit nice, yeah, we can just we can pass the flex function now. The class of flex, it will come here, and then we can just align the items to the center. Okay, now try to refresh, and then this icon will look a little bit bigger, so we can just give the margin left of 1, and then we can reduce the size of this icon, so we can just come here and say size of 4. Let's try to see how it looks. Okay, so the size of 4, at least it looks fine. So now what we can do here, when the user will click the column name, and then this icon should change. If it is on ascending, it should show the up icon only, and then when it is on descending, it should show this is the bottom icon only. So what we can do, we can just have the if condition here. Okay, we can just have the if condition. We can just say if. Okay, we can just have the if here, and on this if we can just come and check this. We can just come and check. We can just, okay, so what we can check here, we can just check if the current sort by column, we can just check if it's the one here, like we can say sort by column equals to this table heading, the now which we are using the name. So here the column name will be name. If it's the name, okay, what we can do, if it's the name, this looks a little bit not good. Let's check if it's not the name. If it's not the name, we can just show that the default icon that have both up and down, the both of the two icons like this. Okay, then we can check, we can have else if here, and just have something like this, else if no need to put this, we can just have something like this, else if the sort direction, meaning that I'm referencing to this one, which is sort direction, equals to, let's say, ascending. Okay, if it equals to ascending, meaning that we should show only the upward arrow, which we're gonna see here on the arrow icon, meaning we should use this one. So copy, and then we should show it here. Okay, let's make it look nice, and then we can have an else here, meaning that if it is on descending, we should show the downward arrow, which is this one. So let me copy, and then let's paste it there, then let's squeeze it a little bit. Okay, so now let me squeeze this for easy readability of your code. Okay, so now let's change the size to be 4 and this to be 4. Then let's see on the code what we have done. Okay, so now since we have not sorted by this column, we will show both the upward and downward icon. Let's click on it. You can see now it is showing the upward since we are going with the ascending. clicking, we are going with descending, so you can see. Okay, so meaning that now we are sorting with this column. That's why you can see that the two icons are not showing here. That's the default icon. You can see now it is sorted by created at. So what we can do, we can just repeat the same procedure for the remaining column, which is email and created at. So we can just redo the same thing, but putting this if here, uh, it will work actually. Let's see, like, to repeat the same procedure, you should have this. Firstly, you should have something like this. Here you should put something like that, and then here it will be email. Remember to put the double quotation here. This will be email, and this one will be created at. Since this function accepts that one, here you can see it accepts the name of the column name. So make sure you pass that, and then what you can do, you can just repeat this procedure for adding the button to each column name, heading like this. So put the button there, and here it should change to email. And here it should change to created at. Okay, so here the email. Okay, so let's move that one, and then let's try to refresh the page. Yeah, now you can see this one and this one and this one. So let's try to click on email. Yeah, you can see now it is sorting through the email. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so on the if there, you need to change the name. Here it should be email, and here it should be created at. Okay, so now let's refresh, and by default you can see the created at is showing that we are sorting through this one. So let's go to name. You can see that this has changed, and this has going upward, and then we click it go downward. Let's go to email. Now you can see it changed from here, and then we are using this one. Yeah, so that's how you can perform and create this simple data table in Livewire. So that's how we do, and that is what we have created for today's video. Now you can try to search for, let's say, uh, Johnny. Okay, you can see. Yeah, so you can see this search is working fine. If you try to clear the field, also the data will be cleared. As you can see, you can just search for this, and then you paste it there. You can see it search for the specific user. If you want to search for the email, just put it there, and then you can see we have one user. Then clear, you can see also the data are showing all. So for the delete and any other CRUD operation, you can just perform them in a simple way, and I've shown them in many previous videos. So you can just use those videos and perform this as it is, because it's a simple thing. So that's why I've not done it. So okay, so thank you guys. If you find this video helpful, please consider to like the video, consider to subscribe if you are new to my channel, and share it with your friends, share with all other people. Yeah, so this is how we created the simple data table. Okay, so thank you. See you on the next video.